All right, hey everybody, and welcome to the 90-minute art challenge. This one is pre-recorded because we are on vacation. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you all. And my name is Bobby Chu, and today we also have my co-host Masei Seki, as well as guest artist Xuan Chan. So, what is the 90-minute art challenge? Well, if you go to tumblr.com and look up 90 Min Art Challenge, you will find us there. Okay, and every 90-minute art challenge has a different subject. We always post them onto this Tumblr page, and that's how you kind of keep track. Okay, so you could go there, download the image that we're using today, and what is that image? That's this image. It's this beautiful sunrise, sunset, I'm not sure, but here's some things to look out for when you're painting this. Okay, you're going to be mostly using a warm hue, an orange hue, if you're planning on doing this straight copy. Right, a lot of the blues here, make sure that you look at them very carefully because a lot of the blues are actually grays. Because this image is so warm, and because the dominant hue is such a saturated orange, you can actually achieve a lot of very cool tones with not even a full gray, but just a pretty gray orange. It starts to look blue amongst all the other kind of oranges out there that are much more saturated. Now, the other thing about today's recording is that we did this on Lightbox Expo Discord channel. Okay, if you go to bit.ly/LBX Discord, you can find the Lightbox Expo Discord channel. And there, it's a wonderful community where you can talk, hang out with other artists, paint with them, and just learn together. It's a very encouraging group of people. And that's what we will be doing today. We're going to be painting and drawing with the Discord people. So you're going to see, or actually you're going to hear just an everyday conversation that we're having in the Lightbox Expo Discord channel. Please enjoy. Yeah, and everybody, feel free to talk and ask questions or whatever you want.
Are we okay to sort of share our own screens and work on?
Yeah, totally. Go do your thing for sure.
Cool. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bobby, I just wanted to thank you for organizing these events. They're really cool.
Oh, totally. Thank you guys for being down to do all these things.
No problem. And I guess someone was asking if what you guys are working on is being streamed on YouTube at the moment.
It will be. It's
Okay.
not streamed right now. It's gonna play during like days where we're gone. And
okay.
we're like
Okay.
taking some time off.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
So you're setting up for the Christmas holidays?
Yeah. Thinking ahead. Try to think ahead a little bit. Oh man. I don't know about this one. I'm feeling a little like I don't know what I'm doing. So deceiving.
I'm just trying very hard to keep this PG-13.
Is that your potty mouth?
I might have to mute myself at some point.
New Year's resolutions, everybody. Who has some New Year's resolutions? I'd love to hear them.
Oh. I can I go?
Yeah.
Go for it, go.
Yeah. I think my main New Year's resolution would be to be more productive and spend my time more productively throughout the year. So like now I'm figuring out a system that will really help me to utilize more of my time effectively in the new year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How you reading some books on like figuring out your system and stuff like that, or
Mainly I'm like planning ahead of time in terms of like the stuff I want to achieve during 2021.
oh, okay.
So like, yeah, by putting those goals down, it allows me to plan ahead and I know what to do on every day.
Okay. That's a good one.
You can do it, Kofi.
Hey, Nico.
Yo, what up? What up, man? How is the beautiful people here today?
Doing good.
All right. It's a lovely wet day in the UK. So
Oh.
perfect time to be sitting inside and drawing.
It's the most wonderful time.
Camilla.
Just to let
I'm
you know, I am
I'm
not
fresh.
editing this
I'm
out.
excited.
Yeah.
Alright.
Camilla, this will be streamed live later, so you should put that in mind.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let me know if you have some serious issues about anything that happens during this stream.
Sorry.
No problem.
No
No
problem.
problem.
Bobby, Messi, what are your New Year resolutions?
Mine is to up my YouTube game. You know, finally get some good equipment once this coronavirus shit is over. You know, like set it up real nice in my studio.
Oh, that'd be
Somehow.
cool.
Yeah. And
Hey,
just
I
get-
have Keith. We
I
have,
know, but like every time I ask Keith what kind of equipment should I get, it's like in the thousands of dollars. Like, Jesus.
Oh dear.
Like that's why I'm like apprehensive, you know. I'm still
Gotta
Yeah.
baby
no matter
steps.
what, you know, yeah. Especially when
Like
you
that-
earn that money like real hard, you don't want to spend it too much.
I mean, the quality,
Except if it's food.
I mean,
Oh,
even now it's pretty
true.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind spending, but like just to taste it, not every day. But something, if it's like crazy expensive and it's some food and it looks really good and I'm traveling, yeah, I might just
Mhm.
get that.
Yeah, that's
Bye,
that's
bye,
when I
man.
don't feel bad. What am I doing here? My New Year's resolution is to feel more proud of myself.
Oh, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah,
We are
exactly.
proud of
Oh,
you.
we can help you with that
Proud of
one.
you.
We are so proud.
Um,
Proud of
Very
Yeah,
you.
you're amazing.
aw, thanks. I
Hey
think,
guys,
yeah.
I need to feel proud of myself too, okay? Yeah.
Bobby, you're amazing.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Bobby.
You're
Thanks,
the
everybody.
best.
Bobby, you're the
Hey,
best.
that
You're the
was pretty good. We should all take turns doing that to each other.
Yes.
Shower each other with validation.
Exactly. Oh, man.
What is everyone doing here?
Setting our New Year resolution.
Weena.
I know that voice. Weena, you changed your
Weena.
profile. I didn't recognize you. You cut your hair.
No,
cut
that
your
is
fish.
the drop I draw before.
Weena.
What?
This will be streamed live later, so you should keep that in mind.
What?
Careful what you say.
It's all going onto YouTube, unedited.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I don't have
Oh,
time. I
no.
don't have time to edit it, okay? Please don't give me
Oh
more work.
dear.
Yeah.
What now? Is it streaming now? What?
No.
No,
the-
we're gonna stream it later. We still want to keep the 90-minute art challenge going, especially like keeping the momentum for the people who are doing this very consistently. So just because it's the winter holiday doesn't mean we should like break habits. So
Habits are powerful.
That's another thing for my New Year's resolution is to stop breaking habits I build. Because
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
every
nice, nice.
Oh, I can get behind that.
every time there's a I guess on the weekend, it's like everything that I work so hard during the weekday to like, like a good sleeping habit, the habit of eating well, and like reading a book every day. It just like goes down the drain as soon as Friday night hits.
I mean, if you have many habits and many schedules, you can like circle through them, and then you will never break a habit. You'll just have a new one.
Mm.
I think I'll piggyback onto that one, I say, with
Yeah.
actually keep a New Year's resolution. Because I make them every year, but they never get kept.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So-
I feel like that's something that we could totally talk about here, because
Yeah.
that's something that happens to everybody, Like, I find if it's like a New Year's resolution of breaking a bad habit, you have to think about what you're gonna fill it with, right? And then you gotta like, I don't really like totally throwing everything away. Like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to avoid this, so I'm just gonna throw it all away, because you tend to buy it again or whatever if it's not that expensive, like cigarettes or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just rather keep it more and more inconvenient
Mm.
to do,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you want to draw every day, have your New Year's resolution like that, then have, take a sketchbook or whatever, make some loose leaf sketchbooks and just put them everywhere in your home, in your car,
Make
everywhere.
things easy for you.
Yeah, and just makes it so much easier.
Actually, my New Year's resolution is Masay's daily study calendar. I also
Yay!
want to try to do it, like, to do one painting every day and make it my priority Even-
Nice.
before like my university studies.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Right on. Well,
Where can I find this calendar?
Oh no, it's just like a random calendar that you like make yourself on Photoshop, and then every time you do a study, whether it be like 10 minutes to like, our regular 90-minute challenge, you kind of just like start filling in the calendar with all your studies. So for me, I like things visually there, because if it's not, if I can't see it, then I will understand like if I'm doing something right or wrong. So I've tried to make it a habit of trying to do at least like one study a day, and most of them are like 10 minutes when I feel like I don't have time. But just doing that kind of like helps build a good habit, and it makes me proud of myself because I'm sticking to something that I said I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's like
and
having
then
a visual feedback.
and then it's like if I miss a day, it's like a blank spot, and I'm just like, oh shoot, and then I'll try to like get back into it. But obviously forgiving myself, not being too not being too critical, because it's not really to force myself. It's more like it's more to learn, and yeah, so. Yeah,
Very nice.
like I was sharing with some people on Discord. I was showing them my bullet journal, which are very like, I get very geeky and nerdy when I talk about it, because
Good.
like just finding a system for myself that works it just like brings me so much joy. Like on online, there's a lot of people who have these like super fancy bullet journals with like stickers and like colorful like markers. Like I tried that once, and I think that whole thing just turned me off because it just took too much time, and it's like I'm a perfectionist, so like when I didn't make something look all nice and fancy, I would get I would get upset, and then it'd be like counterproductive. So when I found that like when it's like the bare bones, super simple way of bullet journaling, like it just works for me, and it makes sense to me. So Yeah, just because like other things works for other people doesn't necessarily, work for everyone. Yeah, so just finding something that works for me, it makes me really happy when something like that clicks.
Like Marie Kondo, when you're doing all the Marie Kondo stuff.
Yeah. I
That
love,
kind
I
of
love.
worked for me. It kind of worked.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone.
Are you also doing a New Year's cleanup before?
Mm,
Sorting out all like the clutter?
oh, I already did that, so now I don't have to worry about doing that. That's like the
I'm
best
still
part.
doing that. I threw
Yeah.
so many things in the garbage the other day. I'm amazed with how much trash we accumulate.
It's so
During
much
the
harder too with like quarantine, like you accumulate so much more stuff now. No? Or is that just me?
Mhm.
I think I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because, or actually, I think it depends on what it is, but I find that I've bought less clothes this year
Oh.
because it's like there's no need to impress anyone because I'm not going out.
Have you seen that that viral video of the Greyhound trying on his all the clothes that it wishes it could have wore to work? No.
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
that.
it's so funny. Anyhow.
I've got
Okay.
greyhound, so I'd love to see it.
Yeah, you should look it up. They're so cute with their. This one had like all these different sweaters on and stuff.
Aww.
Yeah, it's really adorable.
By the way, just saying. Oh my god. Guy, Anastasia, and man, like 3 of you, are you sure want to keep drawing?
What's that?
What's that?
Oh no,
We know.
it's what? I'm
What
going to take a nap. I'm going to.
You do sound sleepy, Wina. You gotta be ready for the competition
Yeah.
soon.
Yes, that's why I'm going to take a nap. But I
Oh,
see
Whoa,
our
whoa.
why of
We don't-
our team member was very motivated.
We're doing a warm up before the Holy Jolly.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Go on.
Take a nap, drink some coffee before the nap so you can wake up from the nap
Oh yeah, yeah.
very
I love doing that. Yeah, like if I want to take a power nap, you drink some coffee, and
coffee,
then
sleep for 15 minutes.
and then you go to sleep, and then when the coffee starts kicking in, you wake right up.
and boom. It's like a magic
Not for
potion.
me.
So I'm gonna do that. See you all soon. Bye.
Oh, bye.
Have a good rest. Yeah, I love power naps because I don't like long naps in general because it throws me off completely. I don't know how other people feel about naps
There
or
is-
like
there's like a special time. Like, if you sleep a little beyond that, it messes everything up.
Okay,
I guess it's
how do people get to sleep very quickly? Does anybody
It
have their
doesn't
kind of
happen like
methods?
that.
Pranayama exercises.
What?
Just being naturally tired.
Yeah, get drunk.
Oh.
Works for me.
Alright.
No, I find naps are great for sometimes when I'm struggling with an artwork to visualize the paint. Like, because I've got my vision all shut off, and I can imagine things a bit more clearer. Did that today actually to work out painting, and yeah, now I know what to do with it. So yeah, it took about 40 minutes, I suppose, but I don't actually dream or anything.
Nice.
Yeah, when you start dreaming, that's when it goes a bit. You wake up feeling more tired.
Oh no.
Like really big questions that I just can't figure out. I'll kind of like before I go to sleep, I'll just be like, okay, figure this out, brain. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna ask you what kind of things did you think of, and then I'll try to go to sleep. And then when I wake up, I really do. I'll just be like, okay, what did you think of, brain? And see if anything comes out.
Cool.
But isn't it like not unproductive for your brain? Like you want to rest, but your brain works, and it's kind of you're not resting.
Oh, when it won't shut up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. You know, but sometimes if I go to sleep too relaxed, it's so hard to get up, and then I feel even more groggy. But then if I'm like, you know what I mean? And then sometimes you go to sleep and you're like, okay, I need to get up in 20 minutes. Then you could kind of do it more and you feel more kind of rested because you're
Yeah.
like ready to get back up and go, I guess.
I guess there's a reason to get up and like a motivation.
Get up, stand up,
Interesting.
stand up for your rights.
Oh my god.
I like, for example, I don't rest well at night because my brain tries to keep searching for solutions for my daily problems.
Yeah,
I every day
exactly.
wake up half tired. Half like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, when I got older, then I feel like if my body is tired, my brain is still like wide awake so many times.
Oh yeah.
Zoom.
That's when you start drinking.
Oh no, that's when you start meditating.
No. Let's keep this speech. No jokes. As a mother, I need to step my foot down there.
No, I actually found exercising a lot has helped.
A drinker of coffee. A drinker of coffee. I see. I understand that. Yeah, drinker of coffee.
Yeah, decaf tea is good. Like try to avoid
Yeah.
caffeine after 5.
True. I mean,
Any
coffee
heavy
is one of my
sleepers in the
favorite
chat?
types of-
I'm a heavy sleeper.
Heavy sleeper?
Oh,
Opposite.
lucky people.
Yeah.
I could
No,
be
it's not like it's
pretty
really
heavy.
hard.
It just depends.
Depends.
Yeah, it depends how much.
But yeah,
how
Bobby, you
tired I am.
mentioned
I
What's
mean,
Coffee?
Yeah, I was just going to say something. Bobby mentioned something that reminded me of something that I was listening to about the sleeping thing and kind of giving yourself a task, your brain a task. And I remember they were talking in the study, they were talking about how a lot of like geniuses and creative geniuses
Aw,
in
stop. Come on.
throughout history.
Oh, sorry. Okay, throughout history. Yes,
Before they-
yes. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Like, what? You're not talking about me?
yeah, that's actually true.
Oh man.
God,
They were saying that like a lot of creative geniuses and like scientists from throughout history who have like made great exploits, usually they have that practice of before they go to bed, the task that they are trying to figure out, they kind of tell their brain their subconscious to figure it out. And funny enough, when they wake up the next day, their brain would have worked it out and they would have like an answer. So like that was what came to mind.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember it was like I heard about it from like some president or something that did this as well or whatever.
It's a practice though, isn't it? Something that you can teach
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, the key is really when you wake up to ask yourself, okay, what did you figure out, brain?
Hey, subconscious, can you solve this for me?
Because like
Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
Sure.
Swan.
Oh no, I was saying I read that and I tried it and oh I got like really weird dreams. So probably not for everybody.
Well, you know
Oh.
what? There's another thing where it's like they talk about an advisory council, right? I do this as well, where it's like you read about people, you learn about people that you really respect and would love to have their ear and get their advice on things. To the point where it's like, hopefully it's like how you would know if your aunt would like this purse or not, you know, like that kind of thing. And then you would visualize them and tell them your, you know, challenges, the things that you would like to get their advice on, and then try to get an answer from them subconsciously, right? Like
That's
through your
actually-
subconscious.
Like creating a new inner voice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But it works, but for me it took like maybe like close to 2 months before the people that I was visualizing would actually give me any kind of response.
Oh.
They're like, no, you gotta earn it.
Yeah, and then when they
Not telling you
do,
anything.
it gets kind of weird and creepy because I feel like you're really tapping into your subconscious, you know, and perhaps the subconscious is the doorway to the ether that connects all of our minds. Boom.
Oh,
Whoa.
that collective
Like
consciousness.
Matrix 4 or something.
Oh, did you guys watch Rise of the Wind? The last
not
Hayao
yet.
Miyazaki movie?
No.
No.
Because this kind of happens. Rise of the Wind. The
Oh.
Rise of the Wind?
Wind rises.
Thank you, Coffee. Because in the movie, the creator of the airplane, he actually talks to his idol in his dreams, which is an Italian plane creator. And he's like, I'm trying to solve this. I don't know how to do this. And then he talks to his main inspiration in his dreams, just like that.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if you talk to Jan or whoever thought, I guess that was Brad Bird that thought about the chef being in Ratatouille being dead and being Remy's subconscious or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right? I bet you if you talked with him and said all this stuff, he'd be like, yeah, I believe that. Right? Like the whole kind of advisory council kind of thing, using your subconscious to figure out things that you might not consciously be able to figure out yourself.
Ooh.
I bet you anything he's into that and believes that. Because it's too close, you know? Right? Like in the end, or at one point, Remy questions the chef, and the chef's like, "I don't know. I'm just your subconscious."
Oh yeah.
You don't know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I only know what you know.
Exactly.
Who do you wish was the counseling voice in your subconscious?
Well, I have a council kind of thing.
You have a
I just
council.
I bring in different people with different situations.
Oh.
You know, so like one is Buddha, one is
Whoa.
Jesus, one is Jay-Z, one is no particular order here. That's a pretty weird segue into like Jay-Z. One is Oprah. You know,
Whoa.
yeah, one is Oprah, one is Howard Stern before, like, but I didn't really find he was that helpful.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch. And that's why I love reading biographies, you know, for that. That's one of the big reasons.
Wow. That's so cool.
I want Hayao Miyazaki in my console. I'm gonna do some studies.
He's gonna be so harsh though.
Yeah, I'm scared of him.
Yeah, he can be harsh, but just his creative process, I think it's very important to be reminded of. He creates by observing life. So, and sometimes I think I get too lost in the mind space and I forget to actually live and learn from experience. So yeah, I'll try to learn that from him.
Like probably like Guillermo del Toro for me.
Oh, nice one.
That's neat. Yeah, what would he say about, you know, your painting and then slowly... No, seriously, like you keep trying to figure that out, you know, and then it'll probably help. Right? If you're painting this for yourself versus painting this for Guillermo del Toro, like how's that going to change your painting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah, you have monsters for sure.
Art hat.
Guillermo del Toro.
Totoro.
Do you guys know the story?
What?
Huh?
Guillermo del Toro, he was directing this Japanese film, and there was this child actress who couldn't really say his name, and then he told her, "You can call me Totoro."
Aw, cute.
So during that set, he was called Guilherme del Totoro.
That's funny.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Isn't that for like Pacific Rim with that girl with the red shoe?
Sorry.
Which
Swan, what did you?
Oh, I said like, was it like the? Hello. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was when he was filming Pacific Rim.
Oh.
Oh, with that little girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, she's such a good actress. In Japan, she's huge. Like, she's probably one of the most famous child actors. Like, everyone knows.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because, like, she's, like, really good at acting. Especially the crying part. It was, like, very believable. And she can cry on demand.
Oh, I can cry on the man.
You know what? Okay, I'll tell you something so dumb, but the thing that gets me, where, like, where I might just, have some tears, is not like what you think. It's like when people are really trying hard, and they have like, all these things keep coming at them, and then they finally succeed. Those are like Shark Tank. It's so fucked up. I'll cry in Shark Tank sometimes when people are pitching their stuff and then they get their deal from the investors. I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy for this person.
Oh, like Pursuit of Happiness must have killed you, Bobby.
Oh, that was Will Smith. There's this, actually, it wasn't even that. Yeah, that one for sure, but even more was, there's this episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he's trying to earn some money for his prom, and so he gets a job in this like themed pirate restaurant, and he's a pirate or whatever, pirate waiter.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
Right, and then his Uncle Phil doesn't believe him that he got a job and he's been trying and whatever. Starts talking all the smack to the rest of his family, while they don't know that Will Smith is the waiter, right? And then finally he rips off his eye patch or whatever, his fake mustache or whatever, and he's like, yeah, and kind of exposes himself. I was like, oh man, I remember tearing up with that.
I'm gonna make you cry someday, Bobby.
I'm gonna make you cry,
I will
Bobby.
make it. I will make you cry.
Oh yeah. Well, I set myself up for that as well, because like for years when I would go travel, I would have these wristbands, right? And it would say "punch laziness in the face," it's this green wristband, and I wouldn't sell them, but if I met somebody and I felt like they needed some inspiration or whatever, down on their luck or whatever, I don't know, I would give them a wristband. I would take the wristband off of my own wrist, I'd give it to them, and I'd be like, this helps me when I'm not feeling my best and I don't want to keep going. I just kind of look at the wristband and go, okay, gotta punch laziness in the face, gotta keep going, right? And then just give it to them, and then I would say, I'll give you this, it means a lot to me, but I'll give it to you as long as we make a deal that you will not stop until you reach your goals and you succeed, and if we ever cross paths again, that you will tell me your story. And I was doing that for years, and now people start coming back and they start telling me their stories, like Hari from Vienna. Remember that stream, how inspiring he was? He has one of my wristbands from years ago. I didn't even know, and he told me later.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It all comes back.
Yeah, so I kind of set myself up
like-
to just start crying all over the place when I meet everybody. Long story short, set myself up.
I need like 10 of these wristbands, like right now looking at this painting.
Well, yeah, I was having some difficulties for sure, but then I started working on the hill, and then I feel a little bit better, you know. Working on the hill makes the clouds feel better, actually, for me, right? Otherwise, they just look like little mushy brush strokes.
Like I need to group stuff more. Right.
Shwen, do you have any New Year's resolution?
Oh yeah.
Right now it's like finish this painting, step 1. Step 2, move the big toe. No. Yeah, I think like maybe be more balanced in life. Yeah. Health, you know, family, work. Just to have more balance and be more aware. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. Actually, I remember hearing someone saying, you shouldn't think of it as like New Year's resolution. It should be more like, how do you want to change your lifestyle?
Oh.
So, yeah, rather than just like starting, like just because it's a new year doesn't mean that this should be a reason why you're like trying to do it. It should be more like, how do you want to live your life and make it very consistent? So it's like, what kind of lifestyle change do you want to do? Because like, I don't know. I feel like for me, New Year's resolution, the word is like, it's like I can't really believe it when or especially for myself when I say my New Year's resolution is going to be this, because every year I always fail to, you know, stick with it. So I think
like
just
Inktober
saying
for
like,
me.
what is my new lifestyle that I want to build, and then it's kind of, it seems a bit more like I'm trying to, you know, commit to this like thing that I want to do. But I don't know. That's just me.
Like, I'm pretty good with New Year's resolutions. I'm horrible with Inktober. I've tried that thing like a few times. I just can't get through it.
You got all year to prepare. So.
I've been able to make it through to the end of it a couple of times, but I'm always like completely burnt out by the end.
Yeah. Like, I want something regular. And I think that's maybe subconsciously that's how this also got influenced. You know, doing these workout things. I like the idea of like time limit. So I'm not spending my whole day on some awesome Inktober drawing. Because that's what was happening, you know. I was spending way more than 90 minutes on an Inktober thing. Because everybody else is, and it's looking awesome, you know. And you're like, I don't want to post my thing.
Not necessarily. I know some people who actually do preparatory drawings before October.
Oh.
So they have the drawings ready to paint in ink. Yeah. So it's not. They're not necessarily all actually working from scratch.
Interesting. So you mean cheaters? I see. No. Just kidding.
I agree.
Just kidding. There are no
Don't call us out like that, Bobby.
you know, like it's funny because I'm sure there would be some like hardcore Inktober people that are just that is cheating. You know, like there are some
Like,
crazy
you're
Inktober
disqualified.
people out there. Yeah. I remember like seeing those threads or whatever where it's just like you know, you have to use real paint. This isn't real paint.
Yeah. Digital art's not real art. Oh no.
Yeah. Like you're not allowed to participate if it's not real ink.
And And it's not even their contest. They're not the ones that even put it together, and then they just like kind of get crazy about it. But whatever.
But it's not really a contest. It's like it's
Yeah.
just for yourself. It's supposed to be a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, you know, this. Oh, I don't have 90 minutes. Oh, that's okay. Just do 20 minutes. Whatever. It doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah,
Would
people are too hard.
anyone be able to give me like some quick feedback on like a turnaround that I'm working on?
See here.
If it's all right, even though we're recording right now.
Yeah, it might be maybe not the best thing on this channel because we are recording it. And I'm not,
No worries, don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry. Like usually, if I wasn't recording, I'd be able to like share my screen and all this stuff. But then,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It was more sort of like part of it was like wondering if it was okay or not. That way.
oh,
Just checking.
yeah, Schwein and Messier are gonna kick my butt in this painting thing if I go and start looking.
Oh yeah. Well, you can go critique while we finish up this video.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
It's like anyone.
People give him like
It
10.
wasn't just. It wasn't just meant to be like, oh, Bobby could you? It was like anyone who wants to have a look can have a look and like.
Next time. How about next time? You catch us another time for sure when we're not recording.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, but I tend to do my New Year's resolutions like they'll just start creeping in like October, November, and then I'll just start doing them then. Like doing more on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. That is my New Year's resolution. That's what really started all this stuff going so hardcore into these painting studies.
So basically, you already achieved your news.
Well, I'm trying to keep them going.
I once heard the advice of that really made me stop making New Year's resolution because it was like, oh, I don't make New Year resolutions. I just change myself when I want to. I just want if I want to make something better about myself, I just do it. I don't wait for a new year. I was like, oh, well, that's a fair point you made there, but you know, it's fun.
Yeah.
I can just imagine you in the middle of the year going, yeah, I'm not going to change myself right now because it's not the beginning of the year. You know, it's not New Year.
Yeah.
So you have to go with what, whenever is the right time. You're right.
But if I could put myself a goal to finish for this year, is thanks to the 90-minute challenge, I discovered how much I like a more illustrated focused work rather than animation and stuff. So this year I'm gonna dedicate myself to become a better concept artist and visual storyteller.
Cool.
It's the 90 minutes.
Right on.
That will be my goal, becoming that the whole year.
Yeah, I'm so obsessed about these 90-minute art challenges now.
Me too.
Especially after doing them so, like, once you see that improvement, right? You just gotta it's totally like working out. Once you get past that little hump and you start to see your belly gets, you know, a little tighter, and then you're like, yes, I'm gonna keep doing this. I want to keep doing this. Your artistic belly, I'm saying.
Artist.
Artist six pack.
Yeah, and especially like getting my butt kicked sometimes, you know, not doing such like a painting that I really like or whatever, and it's so motivating. I don't know, it's so motivating.
Yeah, a couple of years ago I did a 30 days of 30 faces using a Sketchy app.
Oh, cool.
And that really helped. Yeah, if anyone's interested, it's I think it's SK. Sketchy.
Sketchy.
It's like a.
Oh, please do share your links.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
have any links, you can share it in live share links.
Yeah.
So artists share about their different techniques that they use to draw portraits, and they use the same reference photo for everyone for that day, and then on Facebook they share what they've done. Yeah, and so I did 30 days of different faces using different techniques in my sketchbook, and that really helped challenge me with portraits.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, see if I can find it.
It's all about that consistency, right?
Yeah, well, because I like experimenting, so it's all different
Mm-hmm.
things. Like it was like a excuse to try different things.
So this was a challenge, like a challenge that happens or someone posts.
Yeah,
Or...
it's
That's awesome.
It's an app, so I think you can
Oh,
download
an app. Okay.
Apple products, but it might see. Yeah, an artist I follow, Mark Chef. He was one of the artists on there, and he talked about it. And so yeah, I checked it out, and it was fun. It's good just to have a community that you can keep posting. There you go.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed trying new challenges because it kind of, yeah, it's like what you said, it gives you a reason to try it. And like if it weren't for that, then you probably would have never explored it. Like actually, if it weren't for this 90-minute challenge, I probably wouldn't be doing daily studies right now.
Oh.
Yeah, because like I had I feel like I didn't really have any like motivation or reason to, but once I saw like the benefits of it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to incorporate this into like, you know, my thing, I guess. And then Inktober also, like I discovered my love for like ink paintings, I guess. And there was also something else that like the challenge just made me like appreciate that medium or that topic. But yeah, like even though most challenges I never really finished, it's like just being able to dip my toes in that is like, you know, it just opens so many like doors for me.
Yeah, and it's good when a whole bunch of people are doing it too, and you can see what you're trying and what you should be giving a go.
Mm-hmm.
Different ways of looking at things. The same thing.
Yeah. Maybe it has to do a bit with like not herd mentality, but like when other people are doing it, it's like you also want to do it.
Well, it's like when you run.
It's definitely easier.
And you have people running alongside you. It's a lot easier to push
Yeah,
yourself.
that is true. I ran a half marathon last year. I think it was like 21K, and that was my first time ever running it. Like I actually never ran half a K. Like a half marathon until that actual day. And yeah, if it weren't for those people, like, you know, running with me, I probably would have just like stopped and walked the entire time. So it is nice having like other people, you know, doing the same thing, going for like having the same goal.
Did you prepare for it?
I did prepare for it. I ran like a lot of 10K just to build up to it. And then in my mind, I was thinking, okay, it's 10K times 2 and a bit.
But did you get also like addicted to run? Because I hear that people who start running, they get addicted because of the hormones, which are like spreading around.
Yeah, I never really truly got the runner's high, but just because during that time I would go rock climbing and I would also play ultimate frisbee, so that's kind of where I built up my endurance and strength. But yeah, my knees were not happy at all when I ran too much. So but I would love to get back into it.
Yeah,
I also would like to start with it, but I heard that you need to do the cross training for like not to get like bad back problems. How do you do cross training if you don't have like a cross trainer at home?
My brother does cross training at home right now. I'm not sure how he does that exactly.
He crosses the room to the kitchen.
Well, he lives near the beach, so
I've done that.
I'm sure it helps.
Yeah, I've done that many times. To the fridge, back, to the washroom.
I was just saying the other day, like, there's so many times I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, and I find myself walking to the fridge. I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? What, did I need something? Am I thinking about
Oh,
something?
thank God I'm walking.
I need that chocolate bar. No.
You ever do that? You open up the fridge and you don't even, like, you're not even planning on eating anything, but you went to the fridge and you open it up and you look inside and you're like,
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Oh, you do?
Too many times.
Guys have been taken over by aliens. I don't know.
I think that usually happens when I'm bored. I start eating when I'm bored.
What's your kryptonite when it comes to food? What's the food, if it's in your fridge, it's very hard for you to keep it for a very long time?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
No matter what
flavor? Oh, and that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It can be like the plainest vanilla. I love ice cream. Any time of year.
Nice.
And lychees.
Definitely chocolate cake. If there's chocolate cake there. Like, sometimes I'll bake a cake and my boyfriend won't eat it as much, and I feel forced to have to finish it. Like a whole cake. But I've learned that you can actually freeze it, so that's been good.
Oh,
You know, like the worst things are not the things you can keep in the fridge. It's the thing you can put right next to your table and reach it anytime.
yes.
Like a bag of chips.
Oh.
That's the worst. You don't even get up to get it. Speaking from experience.
Gwen is an influencer. Be careful if you like chips. She will show you the craziest flavors of chips that you never even knew of.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was at the studio, I had like a whole table full of like snacks, and like people would just come by and like it's like a pantry.
Actually, sometimes try to hide my snacks for myself.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Forget about it.
And then you find it later, like a while later. Like, oh, all right.
I love it. Yeah.
Mine is Cheetos sweet chili heat. That one I can eat in a day and regret it the like later in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know darker chocolate chili?
Yeah.
Whoa, no.
What's that?
So good.
Chocolate chili.
Hmm?
You said
the
chocolate
chili,
chili?
Yeah, darker chocolate chili. It's like 70% or 60% cacao and chili. Oh, it's amazing.
Wow.
It's this very pleasant, have this stingy feeling, but it melts and feels like very pleasing with the darker chocolate. Because it's not too sweet. It's right on point.
There goes my New Year's resolution already.
Don't worry, it's not for another like 2 weeks.
Yeah, for me it's salted meats, like
I remember.
prosciutto or something like that, like hams. Oh, get them away! I cannot stop. Or
I'm hungry
chocolate,
now.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk really gets me too. Like, but
Oh, really?
yeah, but I'll do like oat milk, you know.
Chocolate.
No, I'd like to add to the conversation. Ferrero Rocher is very addicting on those trays.
Oh yeah, Ferrero Rocher. Forget about it.
Yeah. Wait, okay. I have to ask. With Ferrero Rocher, does anyone ever like eat it by layers? Like, so first they would eat the chocolate, and then they would have the shell, and then they would crack the shell open, and then they would like eat the nut from the inside, and then pop the the shell into your mouth last. Does anyone do that? Or is it just
I do that with Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
In the sense of eating chocolate off the top and stuff.
Yeah, you totally just like slowly, carefully get the coating off of the Ferrero Rocher first.
Yeah, I do that with Kit Kat too. I strip the chocolate and then I have the wafers and I pick each one off, and then I just like eat it. It's like so much work, but for some reason, it lasts longer and it feels more satisfying.
But Kit Kat, it's so priced. How can you lay it by layers?
It works make it last longer. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think I'm just weird that way.
You just appreciate your chocolate. Savor it.
What is everybody's weirdest habit related to food? Since we're kind of like, since Masae's already sharing.
I'm not the only one who only eats the top of the broccoli, right?
The what?
What of the what?
Oh, you
The top
only
of
eat
the
the top
broccoli?
of the broccoli?
Yeah.
Oh,
no!
I eat the whole broccoli, man.
Oh, you're
I
not
like both
alone.
parts.
Oh, you too. Dang.
I like the teapot. Yeah.
All broccoli deserves to be loved.
But I'm trying to understand. I'll eat the entirety of
You can have the top without the stern, or whatever the name in English is.
Stem. Yeah.
Okay, it's damn that.
I like the stem even more. It's more crunchy.
No.
Okay, so there's this debate: soggy fries or crispy fries? Serious question.
Soggy fries or crispy fries?
Oh, crispy fries.
The best
What
is
was
when
my-
you got the sauce or whatever you got on it, and it hasn't made the crispiness go away yet. Boom, right?
Oh yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside.
Aw.
English chips are really good. Like fish
Guys, you're
chips.
making me hungry.
Yeah, it's what kind of chips are we talking here?
Crisp.
Like fries.
Like McDonald's fries are we sort of talking?
Oh yeah, because isn't chips considered fries in Europe?
Okay.
Wait, what do you
yeah,
make
so
sense of?
What America refers to as chips is crisps for us in the UK.
Like Lay's?
Ah.
Yeah, and I think Lay's in the UK are Walkers. I don't know which one was first. So for whatever reason.
In Germany, Lay's are chips and fries. French fries are French fries.
Yeah. And then in regards to chips and fries, you've got wedges as well, which are thick cut chips.
Those are yummy too.
This is going down a rabbit hole.
Hey, guy, do you know this stereotype of that British people only eat fish and chips?
Not
We don't only eat fish and chips.
I know. Yeah, that's why it's a stereotype. It's not true. But
chips with everything.
I heard that
But it
because
is
it's so
very good.
for everyone outside the country, it's so good that they assume, oh, they eat it all the time. It's so good, but in reality, the people there are tired of it. It's it's such a common food.
I don't have it that often personally.
Not tired.
I enjoy it though when I do. I have curry sauce and gravy on top of my chips with salt and vinegar.
Yes.
And I feel like there are some friends of mine here in the UK who would say no, you don't mix gravy and curry sauce. So that's a point of contention.
Yeah, I've got cousins in Yorkshire, and I remember we ordered Chinese one night, and they decided to have chips with their Chinese, not actually rice. I'm like, what?
Why? I don't get it. It's like
Anyway.
Oh, I have another weird food thing.
Let's hear your weird food thing.
Go ahead. Share with the class.
People are gonna think I'm like super weird after like hearing all my weird food things. Does anyone eat the skin of the kiwi? Like kiwi skin?
No.
I've never.
I know. I think it was.
I tried.
You guys should, okay.
You eat kiwis? Oh my god, must say, what is wrong with you?
No,
Honestly, they were lovely bird.
Like,
What does it taste like? Is it bitter?
So it doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like okay, if you're eating like potatoes, like cooked potatoes, it's like eating that. You don't really taste the skin. It's just like part of it. Like you definitely feel a texture, but you don't. There's nothing like weird.
Okay, do you eat the fur, like the hairs?
Yeah. It does feel weird, but it's like it's not that like weird tasting. And the reason why I eat it is because apparently most fruits, the most vitamins are packed in the skin. So I'm just like, okay, I want some vitamins from this kiwi, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I was going to ask, does it have a nutritious value like other fruits?
Mm-hmm. And a big part of it is also I'm too lazy to peel the skin.
but isn't it like too hairy? I know that there are kiwis that are hairless and there are kiwis with lots of hair.
Yeah.
Aren't you bothered by the hair?
You kind of get used to it.
It's kind of like eating a little, like, fruit hamster or something. Isn't it?
That's
Like when you see stuff that's so cute and you just want to kind of bite it, even though you shouldn't. Or you put some eyes on the kiwi, you put some little blueberry eyes on there or something, and then you could eat it and be like, cute.
I'm sure there was like
animal
a
fruit.
post that I saw where it's like there's a reason why we want to crush cute things or something, and I don't know, and I can't remember for the life of me what it covered.
Something about like preserving the kind or something like that, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
actually, I have a weird food thing. This is more like a restaurant thing, right? At least for me, it's I get nervous sitting in a corner of a restaurant where, in my mind, I don't know if it's a germaphobe thing, but it's like I start thinking about the restaurant bathroom and I associate it with the corner. So it's just like I start losing my appetite and I go, I start thinking about like how dirty the bathroom is just whenever I'm near a restaurant corner that I'm sitting in. So I can't eat anything that's like curry or water.
Fair enough, I guess.
I got one.
Yeah, I feel you, yeah.
I don't, generally, I don't eat the last bite of my hamburger. If it's something where I'm holding it as I'm eating it, I don't eat the last part where I'm holding it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
It feels so unsatisfying.
Yeah.
It's like, just like, ow, like just
No, but
popping out.
also, no, I'll just keep squeezing everything out of that burger. So by the end of it, it really is just the bread. It's just a little knob of bread.
Okay, that's understandable, I think.
Okay, so it's not like you're just leaving behind a mini burger.
No, it's just like everything inside is pretty much squeezed out of it by that time.
Okay, I can understand it.
Thanks, guys. See, that's why I like this group.
Here we don't judge weird food habits.
Yeah.
Here we don't do it. And I think, I don't know if it is a habit, it's more of a taste thing. I really like my favorite food. When people ask me, what is your favorite food? I say a buffet. I will eat a variety of foods cooked all in different ways with different aspect and flavor ratios. So, and people are like, how are you not sick? You just eat fries, sushi, a hamburger, and another thing that is fried, and so many boiled things, and you're not throwing up. And I'm like, no, I'm fine.
But
isn't that
funny?
Variety
if,
of foods.
If you ordered a dish like that, right? If you ordered a fries, salad, shrimp, oysters, and sushi dish, and it all just came as a big lump, you would be like, this sucks. But then that's what we do all the time at buffets.
Yes.
I had a friend who I went to a buffet with once, and he got it was like a world buffet place, and he got first thing he got was like sushi, so it was on the bottom of his plate, and then on top of that was a series of like some Mexican food, some Chinese food. This all of it was stacked on top of the sushi underneath, so it had like some kind of sauce on it by the end of it. By the time he got to it. And stuff, and it's just like, how?
That's not how you eat.
Somehow it works at buffets, and you don't mind. I wonder why.
I think as long as you don't eat like things which don't go together, like milk and meat maybe, or milk and fish, I think it should be fine.
Oh, milk and fish is quite nice.
So,
What? Oh, I never tried it. Milk and fish.
Well, you
Just
There-
like to
there
avoid
there's that
Like
thing
white
called the
sauce.
milkfish.
What is that?
Fish.
It's
You don't
just a
want it.
type of fish. Tastes pretty good.
I shall Google this.
So-
I think I've had that too.
so I've got one to top your kiwi story.
Oh, let's hear it.
So I know a girl who loves eating canned cat food.
What? Yo,
I mean,
I was
that's
waiting for you to
what
say
else
some
do you
crazy
need?
stuff, Schwen. I was
Alright.
waiting for you.
Wait, this is a friend or this is you?
I had an ex-colleague, so she was an air stewardess, and she's like this dainty, really pretty, feminine-looking girl, and then she told us that her staple snack food at home are like cans of like cat food.
What?
Damn.
That's not healthy
Like,
for
what?
us.
That's
There's
interesting.
like ash and taurine in it. It's like it's really not healthy for us. It's not about like cat food.
Oh, it's not healthy for us?
Yeah, no, it's not healthy for us. Like you can survive on it for a bit, but in the long run, if you eat a lot of it, it's really not healthy.
Oh,
What
okay.
about her
because-
fur though? Or I mean her hair, is it nice and like silky?
But it was so
I like how
Does
you
it make-
genuinely got mixed up with hair and fur then.
Does it make my hair look shiny and bright, like a young puppy?
Nico, you're always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh, thank you.
There's some, I think like for little hamsters or guinea pigs, there's some like yogurt drops, like treats. And sometimes, like back then, I tried some of them, but they're so delicious. It's just like yogurt drops.
That sounds good. Yeah. I was
Flintstone
thinking for like.
vitamins. I used to love Flintstone vitamins. If I could, I would eat them by the handful. So it's lucky I didn't get into them. That just stopped everybody. Okay, somebody say something. Go. Schwen, say something crazy.
Flintstone vitamins.
That cat food one. Oh my god, that's so fucked up. Sorry. You're making me swear and stuff. Your crazy stories.
It's my natural talent, yeah.
What's the craziest or most adventurous food you've ever had?
Oh.
Adventurous what?
Adventurous food.
Food?
Oh.
I feel like I have to speak up because like I'm Chinese. I feel like I have to take this
Mhm.
one. Right?
Yeah, most adventurous food. I'm waiting for Schwen too. I'm like, she probably has some crazy thing.
There's a restaurant in New York that actually had they sold maggot omelet. So I think it was a Japanese restaurant, and it's basically just like eggs and I guess it's like mealworm or maggots, and it tastes like soil and eggs. So it's very
Soil and
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you had it. Cool.
What kind of eggs? Because when you're saying maggots, I'm just thinking maggot eggs or something, and then there's like,
scrambled eggs.
oh,
the
Yeah,
word
in
maggot
Mexico, we had
very unappealing. Sorry.
in Mexico we had omelets with all sorts of stuff, ants, worms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
It's like pretty common to
yeah, I was going to be more specific with you, Schwen. What crazy kind of insect-related stuff have you seen? You know, or eaten, or whatever.
Insects, not so much, but like other stuff that I think is pretty common here. I think now that I think about it, maybe it's not so common like for other people. Like frogs. I don't know. Is that weird? Frogs?
I mean,
It's not that weird.
Oh,
a delicacy in France.
Yeah, I was thinking because Schwen, you've traveled so much. I figured like maybe in one of your trips or something.
Yeah, I just order pizza in every country I go. Like...
I remember one time that I went to a pub and I think it was called a spatchcock chicken. And it was essentially a full chick cooked. And so you could very much see every part of it. And let's just... it was just sort of like one of those slightly unnerving moments where it's like... okay, that wasn't what I expected. And stuff.
Well, you know what? There's this stuff that you eat where it's from breast milk.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they'll let it go bad.
What?
And it comes from cows, and then they call it cheese. It's so messed up. And you're eating this breast milk from this other animal.
I know. It's one of those. It was one of those moments where it's like, okay, vegetarians kind of have.
But there is.
I get it.
You can actually drink human breast milk. Like apparently that's a thing. Some people.
I mean,
Like,
technically, it's what we're
like-
designed to have.
As
Yeah,
little
but for adults.
babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's why actually a lot of people struggle with lactose because we're not supposed to eat it after we like grow up.
Yeah.
Oh no! I drink so much milk. Oh no!
Well, stop it. No.
Yeah, I don't eat dairy anymore because I can't, but I love dairy when I could eat it. But when you think about it, it is pretty weird. It's pretty weird.
I mean, I would love to try almond milk more. I heard. I remember trying one and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't taste great.
You can make it at home if you don't have a whole lot of it where you live. It's pretty easy. It's like you just have to grind up some almonds, and then the ground of the almonds you put in water for the rest of the night. And in the morning you squeeze it through a fabric, and that's almond milk.
Oh, this whole entire time I was looking for its little nipples, and I couldn't find them. Now it all
Almonds
makes
have nipples?
sense.
As a visual person, the images that ran through my mind in this conversation so far, bothering.
I'm sorry. It's just creature-like things. It always pop in my head.
You know, it's little elves and fairies just wandering around the forest, just milking the almonds for you.
I just picture like all these little almonds in this little like miniature farm, you know, and then like they're all lined up and they're all got these little tubes stuck on them.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Bobby, when you told me about the oat milk, I was so okay. So at work, Bobby, you drink oat milk, right? And then I never knew oat milk was a thing, and I'm like, what, oat milk? And then you're like, yeah, you know, like the way they milk their milk is like you take the little the oat, and then you take their nipples and you like squeeze the milk out, and I was like, wait, what? I was like genuinely confused and like, how does that work? And then I realized because someone else was laughing at that joke, and I'm like, oh, Yeah, that was a pretty funny joke.
When it comes to chicken, do you eat the skin or do you leave it out?
I think I've
Do what?
eaten everything of a chicken except for the head.
It has to be cooked.
What? Yeah, chicken for sure. You gotta cook
Do you
that.
also eat then fish head?
Oh yeah, I've eaten.
Yeah.
I've eaten fish head. I've ordered a fish head. That's messed up,
Where is
right?
common here?
No, it's not.
Yeah, but for
It's
like a lot of
common.
people, that's pretty messed up when they say like, I ordered a fish head to eat. Cause
If
like,
they don't have it on the menu, that's pretty messed up.
well,
It's my
cause the fish head
sister-in-law's
for me is
favorite.
like a lot cheaper than the other parts of the fish, right? And there's like a lot of big chunks of meat.
Flavor.
Anyways, that's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
I mean, normally you get the whole fish and then you eat the fish head if you want to. That's interesting.
Well, this was on the menu. It was just on the menu, and it's like you could have a slab of cod or whatever, and it's like 20 something bucks, or you could have a fish head for like $8. So
That's really
I'm a
expensive.
student. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll eat the fish head. I don't care.
Fish head is really good. The cheek area is the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's my sister-in-law favorite. She's like always reserving it in holiday dinners.
Mhm.
And it's better than wasting.
See
it.
the eyes?
Suck that out, I imagine.
You can eat the eyes.
Oh, the eyes are so good.
Here's something that you probably don't know though. Next time you go to a supermarket, and you probably shouldn't do this, but if you find like one of those fish markets where you could see the fish, you could see the head of the fish, you grab if you scoop out the eyeball of a big fish, I forget what kind of fish I think it's a big carp, and then you get the jelly stuff off of the eyeball, and there's a solid hard part inside, right? If you whip that on the ground,
It bounces.
it'll bounce
Really
crazy
high.
high. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Just do this in the supermarket.
Yeah, don't pay for it.
As a little kid, I've done it before. That's how I know.
Really? You
Oh.
have to find out which fish it is.
I feel like I've heard someone turn
Pretty
like
sure it's a
an
carp.
egg yolk rubber or something before.
I think I told you about the egg yolk thing.
What about
Did
egg
you?
yolk?
That suck it?
Huh?
That you suck the egg yolk?
No. It's something similar to what Bobby's saying about turning it in regards to making it into a bouncing ball, essentially. I feel like I've heard that somewhere, but I have no idea where.
No.
I remember.
Hey,
don't know.
Schwen
Like
and Say,
hard-boiled
we
egg.
have 12 minutes left, just to let you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Ah.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry.
I was like, the line.
Sorry.
This
So
is
wait.
turning better than I expected.
It's that last bit that you did, right? The lighter areas.
Yeah.
Pulls it together.
I was thinking like, maybe I should restart, but 90 minutes is very time restraining.
Cool.
Ooh.
So what time is it where you are? Say that.
It's
Hey, Bobby.
11:08 over here.
It's 8?
Yeah, 11.
AM.
It's 1 o'clock
PM?
p.m.
Okay.
I should eat lunch.
Speaking about weird food habits, right? I
Yeah.
have a habit when I'm eating like rice. I actually don't chew the rice. I just eat the rice whole. I only chew the rice if I have meat in my mouth, like with the rice. But
Do you
if
have a
not, I
lot of
just swallow the-
siblings when you're little or something? You gotta eat the food
Okay, I
real
have
quick.
no. I have 5 siblings, but it wasn't because I had to eat them. But yeah, like that's something weird I still do to this day. I never learned how to chew like rice.
Oh, that's not. I don't know if that's good for your digestion, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think it's good either.
That's funny though.
Crazy. Oh man.
Yeah, water. I try to just like gulp it down like continuously. Just try to open the throat.
Challenge.
Oh man.
I'm gonna drink myself some water right now.
Nice.
Can you just gulp the rice without like getting it stuck in your throat?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Oh man.
Oh yeah, it's 3 a.m. here in Melbourne.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I know.
12 a.m. here.
Wow, such an international crowd.
Let's see, since we're talking about food and I'm hungry, what is your favorite food about your country of origin? You know, share some cultural food.
Oh, Tim Tams.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I do have to say, one of my favorite ones is Paraguayan soup. The thing about this soup is that it's solid. It's not a liquid. Take that as you will.
That's not a soup.
So I'm just imagining a bowl, like a solid bowl, that is called a soup, and you just like chip at it.
Close. It's more of a cake like
What?
texture.
Oh.
It has the ingredients of soup. It would be a corn soup if it was liquid, but it is solid and it's cake. But we call it soup. And you're right, it's not soup. It's a Paraguayan soup to make it solid.
Oh,
Wow.
it's not far then.
Where's the recipe?
Yeah, every time we talk about
Uh,
it, you gotta put a recipe.
It is a little complicated because one of the ingredients is corn flour that I don't know if you can find in some other places.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't know if our corn flour is the same as yours, but corn flour seems like.
I need to check it, but it is one of my favorite foods here.
Ooh, I'm still supporting the dinner thing.
Oh yeah,
We
big
should
dish
totally
for
do the
dinner.
dinner thing.
Definitely.
One of my favorite trips regarding food was the one with you, Noah.
Oh,
Yeah, the food
Dude,
that
I
we
didn't-
had in Israel was like, I dream about that shit. Seriously,
come again.
it's so good.
And I didn't even get to get you to half of the places that I wanted to.
No one is here.
It feels so healthy, like so many of the foods there. Yeah.
I think it's just the Mediterranean food in general. Like every time that I go to Europe, it was mainly in Europe and in India,
Mhm.
that I miss like a lot of like fresh vegetable stuff.
But yeah, like I know a lot of the foods that we had were, you know, perhaps influenced or whatever. A lot of it is influenced by other cultures surrounding the place. But yeah, like the overall experience, it's awesome. It's so good.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're always invited to come again.
hey, let's go.
Let's
We
go.
are
Let's go.
We're thrown around a couple of times. I'm like kind of pushing it right now, but we're throwing around an idea that each of us will put in their favorite recipe from their country.
Mhm.
And once a while, like once a month or two, we'll make a dinner that everybody cooks the same recipe. And we just sit together and eat and talking about art and food.
Love
Nice.
that.
No, why didn't we still done it yet? It's been a while.
We have a year.
Ooh, no! You just made me remember this. I'm working in this new job, and this in a graphic design company.
Yeah.
And this new designer came. He was so quiet and chill during the whole day. And at the last hour of the day, we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, and I'm a baker," and everyone just stopped and looked at him. You bake? What kind of stuff do you bake? And he started talking about his recipes, and it was like, "Do you cook this or this? You can cook this?" And he was like, "Yeah. My family is a family of bakers. My grandmother had a bakery store, and when she died, she inherited to all of us, but." None of us is really a cook, so we just learn how to bake, but we don't are bakers. We just know how. And it was like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
And he was like, so you guys into that? Do you don't mind if I just bring desserts every now and then? And we were like, yes, do that. And he was like, is that in my other job they were all fit people that go to the gym and eat and don't eat sweets, so I didn't know, like, screw them, bring us to us.
At one of my first jobs, I was the only woman in an all-male office, and all the food stuff that we had around us for lunch were like really greasy eateries. And I was like, after a month or so, I opted out, and I tried to convince them to go for salads or maybe something a little bit more healthy. And it's like, no, we need our meat, we need our chips, we need our laffa and stuff like that. So what I started to do, I just started to make salads and pies for everyone for lunch, and I would bring like this huge amount of food, and I would just set it on the table because I knew it wouldn't feel comfortable for me, like to cook for them. But once it was there, it was like, oh, we have like good stuff to eat. So it became an expectation. And then, like, once you have a cook in your office, now there's an expectations for them to bring something.
Yeah. I didn't know you were such a good cook, Noah.
I'm not such a good cook. I love cooking, but I'm not such a good cook. My categories.
I mean, that's all you need, right? To love cooking. That's a secret
I love
ingredient.
cooking. I totally fail at baking. I can't bake. I don't know why. It's not turning out well for me.
Oh no, is that because like when you cook, you don't really measure? You kind of just like eyeball things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's like I'm the same way. I like cooking, but I don't like baking that much because it requires a lot of like precise measuring and like putting in the right order and all that.
Yeah, I usually will try to do a recipe once really, really tightly by the recipe, so I will remember it, and then I play around it. But yeah, baking is like, it's gonna have the right temperature and the right amount and sugar.
Chemistry.
And it's like...
Yeah, it is chemistry.
And I tend to forget stuff overnight, so it's like, then I have like a super fluffy dough, and like, what am I doing with that? So it's like... Yeah, maybe I don't have the character for baked goods.
Yeah, too. And it's nice with cooking. You can kind of improvise, like as well.
Yeah,
like
but
if you don't have a certain ingredient, then you can kind of replace it with something else to get like the same what's called the palette, I guess.
Yeah, it's like painting, to be honest. Like once you understand like what stuff goes together well or gets you results, like you can just play around with it. The problem is it's hard to give out recipes though.
Hey, sorry, speaking of, I don't know, there's no good segue here, but there's like a minute left. You got a minute left.
Okay.
Oh boy. Everyone finish whatever you're doing. You have 1 minute.
Okay.
Designing.
And I mean anything. I do have to say, during this week, I've been seeing all the teams preparing for the event, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, and this is going to be streamed after the event. So what we're talking about here is you missed it. It's the paint-a-thon. Holly Jolly paint-a-thon.
Oh man.
That's why you should subscribe. I mean, join the Lightbox Expo Discord.
Yeah, there you go.
If you want to know the latest news about illustration, competition, animation, please join the Lightbox Expo.
Yeah, Nico's great at pitching these kind of things.
Yeah. The link is in the description below.
Subscribe.
Good work.
We do all the accents of the world. Yeah.
So good.
Hey, not bad. This painting turned out better, way better than I expected.
Awesome.
How are you guys doing, Bobby and Xuan?
Sorry. I was thinking of all this other stuff I want to do, and I did none of it. I just copied it, pretty much.
Yeah, I wanted to add some like different element to it, but I think because I've never done like a landscape like this.
Mm-hmm.
I focused a bit more on like the cloud forms and the color and all that.
Yeah, this one was like, because of like the optical illusions of the grays looking like blues and stuff, it just took extra brain power I didn't have to try to do something imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to like kind of convert everything. Okay, so if that color is supposed to look like this, then what color am I supposed to use to make it look like that? And then like, what is this pose gonna be if it's something fictional? So I ended up doing none of it. Okay, so before we go, I also want to just kind of ask everybody a little summary. What did you like about the painting? What did you find difficult? How would you change it? Things like that. Xuan or Misei, who would like to go first?
Gotta go, Xuan? Okay, sure. So when I first saw the image, I was like, oh, it looks like it's kind of all in one color like range, but there's like obviously like all these like different subtleties, and that I think that was like the most difficult part, and especially with the clouds because it's all like bumpy everywhere. Trying to figure out like not trying to accurately, paint every single bump and detail. Just trying to figure out like how to create that form was the hardest part. But if I were to do this again, I'd probably, try to find a better, efficient way to paint clouds like this, especially because we don't, use that much of a textured brush.
Xuan?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think like when I first saw this, I was like, no. Then it kind of looks like the one we did before, the first environmental landscape. I think the guy even has like the same yellow jacket. So I thought, okay, maybe this time I'll do something different, put in like a different character. But if I were to do this again, I would pay more. I would be cleverer about the clouds, or I'll try to be. I it's definitely a struggle. Like I think everybody can tell that I'm struggling with the clouds. I try to group them, and then I smudge them up again, and then it kind of looks like a little bit undecided, I think. So if I were to do it differently, I'll pay more attention to the clouds.
I was like, Misei and I were talking about different photos to study from, and I was like, let's do something that's inspiring, right? And like, it's almost New Year's and stuff. We should do something inspiring. So that's why we chose this image. The hardest thing for me was definitely the colors, because I noticed my colors didn't get as saturated as say like Misei's did or yours, Xuan. Like mine is more, I don't know, well, less saturated, I guess. So if I was to paint this again, I would really consciously think about that saturation. And I feel like the way that this is painted, there's more layering than I would normally do, like in those clouds, right? Like the hills was very opaque painting, a lot more anyways, than the clouds. So because of that, I feel like I should have went more saturated with my colors because I was layering, and that really saturated tone is not going to come out the exact way that I picked it, right? It's going to be less because there's all these layers. And then the other thing is, I forgot my kind of like fundamentals of painting clouds. So if I was to do this again, I would have done, all those lighter clouds. I would just do the light part first and then the shadowy part on top of it, because the light is coming from the distance away from us, directly away from us, right? And just doing that would have made these clouds so much easier. Both you and I, Xuan, we should have did that, right? And like
I know, so muddy.
we would have done these clouds so easily. I was just thinking, do the mid-tones and darker stuff, and then the very end I'd bring in the light areas, right? Because that's what I tend to do. Or that's what we tend to do in painting in general. You put the highlights or whatever at the end.
I like how Avi, in yours it's like, even though you're saying stuff about the saturation, but the whole painting is still like, it feels like it's one piece. Like there's nothing that's like,
united.
It's all like united, and nothing's really like out of place because you painted consistently in the same
in relations.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. I do like the hill. I thought the mountain or whatever it is.
That's a bad.
I thought that turned out pretty well. Cool.
Yeah, it was a fun challenge.
All right, everybody. Well, that's the end of the 90-minute art challenge here. If you guys did it as well, way to go. As for now, we wish you a very happy new year and a wonderful 2021. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day.